Welcome back again to Elections 101 Cameroon, and on today's episode we'll be talking about media and misinformation. How can misinformation reduce voters' turnout? With the rapid spread of misinformation, people are likely to have decisions or make decisions based on the information that they see online or they hear from their neighbors. But we're here to set the record straight. During these elections, how can we handle misinformation in the media and make right choices? So on my left, we have Aminde Bless. He's a freelance journalist with the Reuters. And on my right, you have Dr. Kinang Derrick. He's a researcher with Civic Watch. It's a pleasure to have you here, Aminde.
It's my pleasure too.
And it's an honor here to have you, Dr. Derrick.
My pleasure, don't mention.
So talking about misinformation in the media and with your background in research, what are the most relevant forms of misinformation during these elections?
Yeah, it's true that we can talk about many as possible, looking at the different contexts within which elections usually takes place. But with a specific case of Africa, I want to believe we let's limit it to political realities. We'll be seeing more of propaganda and what is referred to as political populism. So these two, to the best of my knowledge, is what is going to really define the political landscape come October 2025.
Thank you very much. We're reducing our scope to strictly elections because if we want to talk about misinformation, it can be as broad as, and we're keeping it short and precise. So over to you, Mr. Aminde. How does misinformation affect voters' trust?
I think looking at our landscape, you realize that as a reporter, I'm talking from the perspective of a reporter, you realize that from criminal investigations we've done, we realize that some parties have already installed troll factories, which means they are adequately prepared to engage in mis and disinformation with regards to this election which we're expecting in October. And I think that is going to play a lot when it comes to voters' trust and in the electoral process.
Okay, I'll come back to you on the troll factory because I think that is something that we would want you to enlighten us about and how maybe we can be able to identify some of those things if we see them online to decipher them from real information and misinformation. But over to you, Dr. Kinang, what are some of the steps individuals can take to verify misinformation?
Yeah, I think there are quite a number of, we can tap from past experience. Like, for example, we know what happened in the United States of America with what was referred to as the Pizzagate. During the presidential race between President Trump and Hillary Clinton. We have the case of Nigeria in the just ended 2023 presidentials. We have the case of Brazil with Jair Bolsonaro. There are quite a number of steps that can be taken by us to ensure that we have a kind of free, fair, and transparent election far away from misinformation. And by this, we're talking about building the political consciousness of Cameroonians to be able to distinguish political propaganda, political populism from a real political program. That's the main problem. Most often, those that are in charge of ensuring the voting, you get it, they don't really understand these political nitty-gritties. So increasing the sensitization of the population to know how to distinguish real fact from propaganda is going to play an important role. We're talking about digitalization, and the social media is certainly going to play an important role, giving persons minimal skills on information verification and fact-checking. Just skills that can permit you to distinguish what is right from wrong. I think will go a long way to help in ensuring that we have a kind of an electoral process that is not completely free from misinformation, but it's limited to an acceptable level.
Thank you very much for that response. And please, can you enlighten us more about these troll farms? And in your opinion as a journalist, how can media literacy help us, individuals or people who do not have the journalism training, have the bare minimum skills in fact-checking? How can media literacy help us to guide us between what is real and what is misinformation or what is just propaganda?
Okay, just like everyone knows that troll factories mostly operate online, and we have this online exposure at the moment in Cameroon, especially on the X, Facebook, and maybe WhatsApp, which is very popular among audiences in Cameroon. So especially on X or Facebook, one way to identify trolls is when it comes to reacting to a particular post. When you see reactions from profiles that are not easily are not identifiable, or maybe from the names, you can't actually figure if they're actually actual persons, physical persons, and then the responses sometimes are tilted towards the idea which is being propagated in the initial post. So that's one technique which people can actually identify when trolls are at work. And I also think we're very important for our audiences to always get information from very authentic sources. I think the elections management body so far has done a good job. They've updated their website as well as their social media channels, especially on Facebook and on X, which I will encourage many to go there for reliable information when it concerns the electoral process, and also trust the traditional media, both local and international, that are well-trusted sources when it comes to elections reporting in Cameroon.
Okay, let me just follow up on that. Can some of these straw factories be AI generated?
Yeah, with the advancement in technology, some of them, like troll farms, there are always people who sit behind physical persons, and now with the introduction of AI, it has enhanced that capability. So what they could do in 2018, they are capable to do that at a faster and a larger scale in 2025.
Okay, thank you very much. And again to Mr. Kinang Derrick, what role should traditional media play in accurate electoral information?
I think one of the first things, to the best of my knowledge, that they will have to step up as we move towards 2025 will be their ability to bring out their role to inform and not to deform. Will be the ability of the media to play that role of the lecturer, the teacher, the educator, that tells the people just what is needed for them to know. Will be the ability for the media this time around to play that role of the mediator, that role of the peace builder, to ensure that the media is in front, to give voices to every individual and those voices that matter, and to shift that which can really destroy the society as we move towards October 2025. I think these are some of the things that the media can really do. We don't want to talk about being fair. We don't want to talk about equity and stuff like that. But we are just simply saying, let every voice be heard and be heard in the right way. Let the media be that shifting equipment that we have at our disposal that can remove chaffs and gives us just the fine grain. Let the media be that structure, that fourth estate that is there to ensure that at the end of the day, they were actors that contributed towards a prosperous 2025 and not what we can call warlords of the political game due to one or two interests that comes alongside the media. And this call upon media men to improve on their skills. It call upon them to search their conscience and seek knowledge, patriotism. It calls on them to ensure that they stand and play just their role as the media and not be biased.
Okay, thank you very much. And coming from a journalism background, somebody who has had a journalism education, practices in reporting, not just communication degree per se, is what you do for a living. What can you tell, or what do you think that traditional medias can incorporate in order to be better, especially with these elections that's coming up?
I think a lot has been done already by many journalism associations and many other civil society organizations when it comes to preparing journalists adequately to cover this important exercise which we have in October. We understand that we are living a very fragile media landscape. So what I will encourage colleagues to do is to know how to manage the business and the editorial aspect of journalism. Obviously, there are political persons or aspirants or candidates who come to buy media space. You can't prevent media organs from selling those spaces because that's a business aspect of journalism. Is a business as well. So I think it will be important for them to be able to strike a balance between the business aspects. For instance, if you are carrying a political message, you definitely in a newspaper definitely indicate that maybe it's a public reportage or it's a paid news or something. And then when you're doing critical analysis and reporting, that also needs to be distinguished. Beyond that, I think journalists should also try to always cross-check their facts because, like I earlier mentioned, there are a lot of 12 factors around, which we from my investigations, we've identified. And then also, I will call on the stakeholders to be open to reporters who come to them for information, because if they maintain a closed-door policy, that can easily lead journalists to miss the point, and by so doing, they'll be engaged in misinformation. But if they have the right information, they'll be able to churn out the right information. Remember, we say journalists who garbage in, garbage out. So if they don't have the good information, definitely they will send out the wrong thing. So I really wish that all the stakeholders, the political parties, the courts, that's Constitutional Council, the electoral management body, if they are open to reporters and give them the right information, I think journalists are going to do a right job.
Okay. You cannot give what you don't have, and it's important for you to verify your sources and fact check your information. Is there anything you would like to say or share with us? Your last words?
I think my last word for us would be for Cameroonians to get to an understanding of the fact that all over the world, Cameroon is not an exception. During such periods, things like this will exist. It is how you manage them that really matters. So Cameroonians should take upon themselves to ensure that they will not be propagators of misinformation, but they will rather be actors of rightful information good for healthy consumption, so that at the end of the day, we have an election outcome that is free, fair, transparent, and accepted by all.
Thank you very much. Over to you. What are your last words?
I think we all have the responsibility to encourage, we know there's a lot of voter apathy, but I think for I will call it few number of Cameroonians who have registered, I think the last statistics put it about 8.2 million. Oh. And we need to encourage these 8.2 million Cameroonians to come out and vote, because from the previous elections, we realized that there's a lot of disparity, about 50% between those who registered to vote and those who actually cast their vote. So it's a collective responsibility for us to encourage everyone, especially those in the restive North and Southwest regions, need to brave the fear. On October 12th, they make it to the polling station between 8 and 6 p.m. and then definitely cast their vote. Maybe we can just get the change that everyone has been expecting.
Okay, thank you very much, Aminde Bless, and thank you very much, Dr. Kinan Derek. So that is it for this episode. Be smart, be civic, take responsibility, take action. Thank you for watching this episode. My name is Ngufak Temgwa.